Welcome everyone to the Merch Minds podcast, episode 148. I know I come and go, man. It's like I go in these phases. It's weird, but uh, hopefully I can get back on schedule here soon. I do apologize, but I do want to introduce a good friend of mine, Mr. Greg Johnson. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we were having some issues right before we went on live, and then we realized you had yourself muted.
Yes, I did.
I almost cussed you out, but you know what? I actually like you, so we're not gonna go there. But we had you back on episode 136.
Yes.
Yeah, and you were the one that talked about how you were fulfilling your shirts uh, through FBA.
Through FBM. Yeah, FBA. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Did I say FBM?
no. It was FBA.
Yeah,
I
FBA.
ended up doing both. Just because of trying to get stuff into the warehouse in time for Q4. But yeah, the plan was FBA, and I mostly did that. But I was shipping some stuff out of my house at the end of the year too.
Yeah, I invited you back on the show not to talk about that, but I do want to ask you, is that something that you're still doing?
It is something I'm still doing, and I think it's normally I think it could be a good idea for some people, but I think at the moment it's a very, very bad idea.
At the moment because of what's going on, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So, but it is something that's worth pursuing once the economy gets better, I'm sure, right?
I think so. Anybody who has success selling print on demand shirts or any other item, you really should look into the possibility of creating some physical inventory and seeing if you can sell that along the same channels, because your margins can potentially be a lot better.
Hmm. Yeah, that's good, man. So how's Denver, man? Uh,
It's it's all right. I think they're kind of, slowly getting more restrictive in what people can do. We don't have a full lockdown yet, but I expect to see one probably in the next week.
Yeah, so today is March 23rd, 2020, and what Greg is referring to, and I'm sure everyone knows this, but just in case someone's listening to this 2, 3 years from now, currently we are going through the whole coronavirus pandemic. It is a global pandemic, and a few states did order a shelter-in-place order, and I'm technically in one of those states. I'm in California, and so I've been working from home, working remotely for the past week. And but I just want to kind of throw out there, it's not as bad as it seems. So what's happening is people are going onto the news, and they see like these photos that were taken like at the right time when there was like no cars passing, right? So like these news reporters are taking these photos, and the streets look empty, but it's actually not that strict. Like the county said, we can still go out and go grocery shopping, get food, and do certain things, but we just can't go, be out doing, going to social events and stuff like that. Like we can
Mhm.
still go out and go exercise as long as we practice social distancing. But you're saying you guys are not practicing the shelter in place order right at the moment, but you feel like it's
Currently,
going to happen, huh?
I think so. I mean, it looks like that's what's happening in every state once they hit a certain point, and that's just the track we're on. So right now in Colorado, non-essential businesses are supposed to limit um, to only allow 50% of their employees to come in, and the other 50% have to work from home.
Hmm.
Which, it's hard to enforce. It's hard for some companies to figure out how to do that. So it's just a big headache and hardship for everybody.
I'm
In
sure, yeah.
in the meantime, my kids are on spring break this week, but all the schools are closed. But my kids' charter school is doing kind of like an online learning thing
Hmm.
to count as, education days. So we've got this thing called Google Classroom set up, and we're getting like dozens of emails every day from all the teachers. And we've got 3 kids that we're supposed to be homeschooling right now, plus working from home and keeping the toddlers from burning stuff down, and it's pretty hectic, man.
I was I was gonna ask you, like, I'm sure you love your kids, but I mean, it has to be.
No, they're
I mean, working a full-time job and then looking after the kids, and you have how many kids?
we have 6 kids.
Oh my gosh! I mean,
Yeah.
it's just again, I'm sure each and every one of them are angels, but it has to be a daunting task right now.
It is. We're trying to figure out how to get everything done that we need to do. I think last week I got a good, like, 3 hours of work done all week
Gosh,
just between
because
everything else. So,
because you had to watch the kids. Yeah.
yeah, watch kids, help them with school. It's, you know, watch we've got a little 2-year-old who can just, like, run around and climb on stuff, and,
Hmm.
you know, he'll burn the house down if we let him. So we gotta keep an eye on him.
Yeah, we joke, but I'm glad that they're doing good, and obviously you being a responsible father, you're definitely doing your part. Uh, are there any cases? I mean, I'm sure there are, but in fact, I know that there are cases out there. Um, do you know the number currently?
I think I saw a count yesterday, and we're well over 500 right now.
Wow.
And it's going up.
Yeah.
It's kind of on that J curve now. So I think today we'll probably have 6 or
Yeah.
7. So, I mean,
I
it's
think in my
still going up.
particular. Oh, okay. I think in my particular county, um, not California as a whole, but just in my county, I think there's over 200. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's uncertain times, and it's scary, man. It's scary, but I wanted to do this show for a particular reason, and we'll get into that here in a second. But also to just again to let you guys know that I'm still here, and maybe try and provide some entertainment while we're stuck in our homes. So uh, the reason why I asked Greg to come back on the show is because he actually started this really cool group on Facebook. It's called what's the group called again?
I think I just called it extra income opportunities.
Extra Income Opportunities. And the reason I asked him back is because like we literally went from having a pretty stable economy to going into a recession almost overnight. And I know a lot
Yeah.
of people are out of jobs, and these are uncertain and very scary times. But Greg, and you didn't start this group because of what everything's going on. He actually started this a while ago, and I'm the one that invited him to come on the show and talk about it because I think a lot
Mhm.
of people can benefit from this. But your group is dedicated to uh, what a lot of people call side hustling, or making, like just like the group says, just making extra income through various opportunities. So tell us about the group.
Yeah. So basically, in my own network of friends and acquaintances, I know a lot of people in the print on demand industry. I know a lot of people who sell physical products on Amazon or Shopify. But outside of business, I have all these personal and family contacts through school and through some other avenues. And I know that there's kind of an interest out there in, what are some different ways to supplement income, like depending on how you make your money, and what your life is like. I think a lot of people are in the situation where they may like what they do, but they just wish that they could make a little bit more. And
Hmm.
I mean, Young, you and I know that there are just a million different ways to do that, but that information just isn't really out there. And so I wanted to create this group just basically as a place to make connections for people,
Hmm.
um, help some of my friends and acquaintances who don't know about this whole world of, selling stuff online, or uploading art and getting royalties, just introducing them to the people and the other groups where they can learn from
Yeah.
that. So like, merch minds, for example, I've been people that I find that they find out about print on demand, and they're like, wow, that's really cool. Especially if they have, some sort of artistic talent themselves. I send them your way because I know that you're the guy to teach them what they need to know to be successful. And so I don't claim to be good at anything that I do, but I just know a lot of different ways that people can do things.
Hmm.
And I just want to put people into contact with the right mentors and teachers for them to maybe do something else on the side, or maybe pivot and kind of change what they're doing in their lives. So that's kind of the intent of the group.
Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, and again, I know a lot of people uh, are temporarily laid off, and I'm actually uh, in that boat where I'm not currently laid off, but I mean it can happen. And now with Greg, thanks to Greg and the Facebook group that he started, I now have the resources. I want to disagree with you there. You made a statement saying that the information's not out there. I think the information is out there, but I think what Greg's done with the group is he's put everything under one roof, so you don't have to go out and search for it, right? Because I've been in the group the last few days, and I've been checking some of the stuff out, and it looks like there's a people from various backgrounds. It's not just merch by Amazon. It's not just Kindle. There are people, they have their own Shopify store, like Greg said. I come from a reselling background. I did a lot of Etsy, and I'm sorry, not Etsy, but a lot of eBay, a lot of Amazon FBA as far as doing retail arbitrage. And there's tons and tons of other ways to make money online and physically. And I think that's what Greg is trying to create here, is to create this one big group where we can all go in and just get, it's just a great resource, correct?
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I'm not claiming to be an expert at anything, but I feel like I know all the experts. Uh, so I want to bring everybody in there and let people talk about what it is that they're good at, and share that with other people who are there willing to learn, and just have it be a community where people can help each other to take the next step, or to learn something new. And one thing I wanted to mention, so Yang, you mentioned that right now you're working from home, but things are up in the air, like nobody knows what's going to happen
Hmm.
for the next couple weeks or months. And I've been a business owner for the last 8 years, and the main business that pays for my life it's really really on the ropes right now. Like, we don't know if it's going to make it. It might not be here in 2 months time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of scary for me. We've got employees. Like I said, that's the business that pays for my life right now. But because of what I've been building on the side for the last couple of years through a couple of different channels, I've got consistent monthly revenue from merch by Amazon. Not a whole lot, but it's consistent monthly revenue.
But it's something.
It's something, and I've got some brands that I sell on Amazon, and that's consistent and actually growing. Uh, I'm up 15% over last month right now. Like, it's actually doing really well. We've got, my wife and I have a brand that runs as a subscription box, and that one's growing. So we have all these other revenue streams, so that if my main business curls up and dies, I think we're still fine.
Hmm.
It looks like we'd be able to come close to completely replacing all of that income very, very quickly if I devote all of my time and resources into these other channels. And so being in that position, which is, again, like it's still a little bit of a scary situation for us, and things are really uncertain, but we have that safety net that I know a lot of people don't have. And I'm so thankful for that, and so thankful for the time that I spent building that stuff up over the last couple of years. And I want to share that experience with people that I know that really need that right now and don't have it. So I would say, I know this is repeated often in many places, but the best time to start a side hustle was 10 years ago, and the second best time is right now. Right now.
Exactly. Yeah. It's funny that you say that, because I remember someone messaged me not too long ago. It was about a year ago, uh, and I actually know the individual's name. He's a pretty good friend of mine online and stuff, and he's in the merch community, and he made a comment, something about, oh, we were talking about something, and then he made a comment like, oh, but you're rich, young. And I'm like, what is it about me that tells you that I'm rich? I mean, like, there's nothing. I mean, I live a comfortable life, right? But there's nothing that I do that says that I'm rich. I mean, I guess we all have our definition of being rich. I drive a 2007 Subaru Outback. Okay, that is, there's nothing about that, that screams rich, right? Um,
That's way nicer than my car.
what do you drive, if you don't mind me asking?
What I drive every day right now is a 2008 Honda Fit. So it's about that big.
What's a Honda Fit?
It's one of the smallest cars that you'll ever find.
I
Just
never
like
heard.
this
I need to
tiny
Google
little
that once
car.
the show's over because I've never heard of that.
Yeah, but I have kind of a long commute to where my company's warehouse is, and so I got that a few years ago just because it runs on gas fumes. Like the mileage is really good, but um,
I never heard of a Honda Fit. I need to
yeah,
look into it.
it is not luxurious, you know.
but and then I got into this other conversation with my other buddy not too long ago, and he goes, "Hey, let me ask you something, Young." He goes, "You living out in Northern California, one of the most expensive places in the country, and I don't say that to brag, okay? But are you able to save living out in Northern California?" And I told him, and this is the God honest truth. I said, "Look, if it wasn't for all my side hustles, it will be very difficult. Yeah, I do have a very decent paying job. I have a great career. But if it wasn't for the side hustles that I do, my savings would look horrible, right? So I'm glad you brought up that point, man. I mean, you should create a side hustle um, now. I mean, it's never too late. Yeah, we're in a recession, but I mean, and that's where the group comes in, where we can all kind of go into this group and mastermind and figure out figure something out. I mean, I'm sure there's ways we can make money online, even though we're in a tough recession right now. There's always opportunities when some. I strongly believe when something's bad, we can take that bad, and kind of dissect it and look at it and get some good out of it, if that makes any
100%.
sense. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm like you in the sense that, yeah, again, I have a decent career. Uh, Now, if I was to lose my job, I would certainly be hurting. But at least I got those side hustles. I got the revenues coming in from all the little things that I do, all the little things that I built up over the years. I'll be in a much better position than some.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say back to something you mentioned that where you can, even though we're in a, we're going to dive into a pretty steep recession here. Things are scary. There's going to be some job loss. There's going to be some changes for sure, and a lot of people are afraid of what that means for them. And you know, I honestly last Tuesday, I had an awful day. I was just really just distraught about everything going on, and
Mm,
I think I was kind of um, mourning the loss of everything that was gone. Right? I mean,
hmm
if the world is a little different now moving forward, I was just thinking about all the stuff that I was going to miss out on that I had expected to happen this year that's going to be different. Um, and we all might need to have just that little period of time where we mourn what's gone, what changed. But I think we got to get out of that as quick as possible and look forward to the opportunities that this creates. So, for example, when the grocery stores don't have any toilet paper, that's an opportunity for some hustler to sell toilet paper on eBay. I'm not suggesting you do that. People will hate you if you do that, but still, it's an opportunity created when something else goes away.
hmm
When restaurants get shut down, that's an opportunity for people like DoorDash or Grubhub or some sort of food courier or something like that to step up and fill the gap, because people still need to eat. People still are going to want an occasional meal out or whatever. And so the way that you position yourself and the way that you show up to serve your customer base can completely change your business moving forward in a good way. So look around, look at the hardships that you yourself are facing right now and the hardships of the people around you, and just start coming up with like, start brainstorming stuff. Like, what could we do to fix this? Right. There's a lot of people right now in my community, um, who have to stay home with their kids because school's out, but they still have to go to work, or they still got to make money somehow. So I don't know. Like, what are some options for, childcare for people who need it, and still respecting the whole social distancing thing. I'm not saying I
Yeah,
have answers, but these are problems that need to be addressed. And so if you can come up with a solution to a problem that other people have, that's an opportunity to start a new business or make a bunch of money while also serving people and giving them something that they need in these hard times. So
yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. I'm sure you saw my dog running around in the background earlier. Yeah.
yeah.
So typically when I'm at work, I take him to doggy daycare because
Mhm.
this freaking dog has the worst separation anxiety I've ever seen. He tears things up, man, if he's by himself. And my the other day, so obviously since I'm working from home, there's no need for me to take him there. But the other day, I took him over there just to have him socialize with the other dogs, and the owner greeted me at the door. He goes, "It's just going to be me and him." What are you talking about? He goes, oh, he goes, you know what? He goes, it's just gonna be me, and your dog, buddy. Technically, he got the okay from the county to be open, and the reason being is because it's like you said, um, because he has clients that are doctors, nurses, and
Mhm.
whatnot, and because they're technically still required to work during this shelter in place, he got the okay from the county to watch their dogs and whatnot. But it's like Greg said, there are opportunities out there. Granted, we want to practice the whole social distancing, but in case you guys do know a doctor or a nurse who still needs to go to work and they need childcare, but their childcare is closed. I don't know. I'm just throwing out some examples. Maybe you can offer your service to them. I don't know.
Mhm.
Back a couple of years ago, I was telling college students, if you need extra money, go on rover.com. I don't know if you ever heard of rover.com, Greg, but
Yeah, yeah, I have.
I said go on to rover.com. For the listeners, it's what it is you're basically offering your services to be a dog sitter, to be a dog walker. I said go and sign up, create a profile, and be a dog walker, be a dog. I don't know what you call them, a dog sitter, and make some extra money, right?
Mhm.
Um, um, and yeah, so there are always opportunities. Again, I mean, it's a little difficult right now with the whole social distancing, but like Greg said again, if you need the extra money, I'm sure DoorDash and Uber Eats need extra drivers. Who knows? Again, I haven't looked into it, but these are things that we can do uh, uh, to earn some extra money. And again, I want to mention, bring up the group again because I think it's a great group with like-minded individuals where we can all kind of just collaborate and come up with some unique ideas on how we can make some money. I'll have that link in the show notes. Again, that's what's the group's name again?
Extra income opportunities. I'll
You
send you the link so we can link
you
to
can
it.
you can come up with a fancier name.
Yeah, it was rushed, man. I didn't
but no,
think it through.
but no, it's a great group. Who are some of the members that we have as an example?
Well, after I saw you joined, I kind of quit paying attention. I knew you were in there, so you know, it's everything I ever hoped. But we've got 50 or 60 people in there, and there's a variety of people from around the internet, but also kind of in my own personal network, and it's open to anybody to join. If you have something to teach or to sell or whatever, come on in and pitch it. As long as you're adding value to the community and trying to help other people, I'm not picky about people going in there and promoting themselves. Just keep it classy.
Hmm.
But also, if you want to come in and learn about, more about print on demand or more about Amazon FBA, more about Shopify, uh, that there are a lot of different people in there that do a lot of different things. It's just from all different areas of different kind of online side hustles. And there's also people in there who are talented artists, talented teachers and writers, and people with a huge variety of skill sets that maybe have a skill set that they haven't been able to apply to some sort of side hustle avenue. So again, I want to get people in there to kind of talk and collaborate, and let's see what different skill sets we can put together, and maybe get some people to partner up and create something together that wouldn't otherwise exist.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Again, it's a pretty small group at the moment, but I would love uh, to see the group grow, and obviously you being the brains behind it. Um, I would love to see it be very successful group as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, there are just so many ways right now. I think for us to make money. Again, it might be tough. I mean, we might have to think outside the box. I think the opportunities are there, though. Really.
Mhm.
Again, it's just trying to be creative. Do you have any suggestions as far as other ways of to make money? I mean, I can think of like a half a dozen ways. I mean, we
Mhm.
mentioned the Uber, and I talked about Rover, but a lot of people don't know this, but I do. Again, I come from the reselling community originally, and I to this day I still sell stuff like on Craigslist. Things that I
Mhm.
find at garage sales and thrift stores. Again, I don't know what the marketplace is right now, because I haven't really sold anything in the last couple of weeks. But things like that, those opportunities are there. They might not be much, but again, I'd rather have $10 than $0 in my pocket.
Yep.
Can you think of any uh, uh, other platforms or ways to make some extra income?
I think for somebody looking to get started right now, the two biggest opportunities, just very broadly speaking, that I see are our supply chain infrastructure right now is under huge strain. So people that are doing KDP and merch and Amazon, you've probably noticed that the expected shipping dates are getting pushed way, way, way out for items. The Prime tag is gone. Amazon is so overwhelmed shipping people peanut butter and toilet paper that they don't have time. They don't have enough manpower to ship out all the normal regular orders that are going out, and so they're just punting them to the curb, which is hurting a lot of small sellers. It's frustrating for customers. Trying to buy my daughter some mealworms to feed her gecko. uh,
Oh wow.
yeah, and like, he's getting low on food, and I'd rather buy him online than go to the pet store right now, unless I absolutely have to.
Hmm.
But normally it'd be a 2-day shipping, and it's like 4 weeks right now for some of these items because Amazon is so overwhelmed. So opportunity number one would be look at companies that are just crushing it right now but can't even keep up with their own demand. So Amazon
Yeah,
is hiring 100,000 people to come and help with
I
fulfillment in
saw
the
that.
warehouses. So like, if you're furloughed, or if you're temporarily out of work but still have the time free, see if there's an Amazon opportunity in your area. I mean, the pay is, higher than minimum wage, and it might help to kind of fill the gap in the meantime. So that's one thing. And you mentioned the delivery and courier services, Uber Eats, DoorDash, places like that. They may or may not be hurting for extra drivers depending on demand. I know from my own experience, I tried to set up an Amazon Prime Now order, an Amazon Fresh order, a ClickList order, a Instacart, and I can't do it because they don't. The demand is so high that as soon as a spot is available, they're booking out like a week in advance for like basic grocery delivery. So that tells me that these organizations, they can't keep up with their own demand. So if they're hiring, if you want to be a driver for one of these places, go and look and see who's hurting for some help right now. And it might be a good way just to, like I said, to kind of plug the hole, fill the gap in the meantime. So that's all. Number one is helping with supply chain fulfillment. Number two is, if you don't have an idea for your own brand or your own company, find a way to help somebody else sell their stuff. So if you have any
Mm,
experience at all with copywriting, with Facebook ads, with anything pay-per-click, Google ads, you know, start by helping out a friend or two or a business or two for a low or reduced or free rate or something like that, and get a referral, and then you can go out and pitch that service to hundreds of small businesses that are really hurting right now, who don't have the normal, organic Facebook traffic or search traffic, or
sure.
brick and mortars, right? Who are in a really bad place right now. Some of them just there's no traffic to their location. And so what are ways that we can use, online traffic to maybe send somebody to a brick and mortar location that's still allowed to be in operation?
Yes,
So that's another opportunity. And if you have any skill with the written word or the English language, copywriting is something that you should definitely look at. It's not something you can pick up overnight and be good at. It's a learned skill and it takes practice. But if you can help somebody else to sell their product or service, you are infinitely valuable. All you have to do is find companies with very high priced or high volume products and services, help them do what they're doing. And there are people who do very, very well for themselves just copywriting for other brands.
sure,
So be another
absolutely.
suggestion.
Yeah, and again, we're kind of just brainstorming as we speak here, but there's tons and tons of other ways, guys. And for those of you guys that are engineers and you guys come from like these high-paying jobs. If you guys are laid off, man, push your ego aside and go do DoorDash, go do Uber. Who cares how much it pays? At least it puts something in your pocket, man. Again, I'd rather have $10 than $0. Okay, I don't care. If people want to criticize me because I'm doing this or I'm doing that, well, fuck them. I don't need them in my life. I'm trying to put a
Mhm.
roof and food on the table for my family and friends. Okay,
Mhm.
put all that ego aside, man. Do what you got to do for your family. They're your number one priority. Um, uh, but yeah, man. Uh, I appreciate you being on the show. Um, let me see. Are you? Do you have enough toilet paper in the house?
I do. So I've never spoken about this publicly, but for the last couple years, we've been using reusable cloth wipes along with a like a bidet kind of thing instead of toilet paper. So we
Oh,
are like those weird ass European people that don't shave their legs, and we use cloth wipes instead of toilet paper. We're kind of like, Gen X hippies in that regard,
so you
and
so you so
I
you
make no
basically
apologies for it.
so
No
you so,
apologies.
so you don't have the issue that I'm having. I'm like literally running low on TP.
Yeah,
I've driven to freaking countless of stores and there's nothing, man. You guys need to stop hoarding the toilet paper, man. Spare a square. Literally, man. I'm
spare a
begging you.
square.
Spare a
Hey,
square, man.
I know some people who sell bidets on Amazon, and they're doing pretty well right now. But if you want to make the leap,
How
and
does a bidet work? I know what it is, but how does it work?
it's basically you're washing your tush with water. Yeah. Okay. So here's the analogy that was given to me, because before we took this leap, I thought this was all crazy stuff, right? I was a diehard fan of toilet paper for my whole life up until a couple years ago. Uh, but if you if you had a bucket full of mud and you just stuck your hands in it and pulled your hands out, how would you want to clean your hands? Would you want to wash off your hands like in a sink, or would you want to wipe your dirty, muddy, wet hands off with a dry paper towel? Which one would you pick?
With soap and water.
That's right, but we pick the dry paper towel with our ass. That's what toilet paper is.
Okay, so a bidet is uh
A bidet is a stream of water. So you can like hook up this little device to your toilet, and it provides a stream of water to rinse your butt, basically.
but how do you rinse it? Are you using your hand?
There's a couple of different styles of bidets and a couple of different techniques. I do not use my hand.
Okay. So so this show literally just went from uh how to make side hustles to how to clean your ass in a bidet.
I'm next week I'm starting a new Facebook group about how to clean your ass without toilet paper. So keep your eye out.
But literally, guys, spare a square. Stop hoarding the toilet papers, man. It's not cool, man. And if you guys are local, if you're one of the listeners that live in Northern California and you have some to spare, I will buy some. I'm not even joking. I will buy some. Just contact me, direct message me on Facebook because I really am running low. Um, my man, it's always good to see you. It's always great talking to you. This show is a bit shorter than most, but I mean, we can talk about this all day long. But
I
um,
think I killed it when we went off on the poop tangent, man.
I think we did, man. I think after that, you put a weird visual in my head, man.
Yeah, sorry.
It's yeah. I think we're gonna call it quits there. But again, the name of the group, guys, is Extra Income Opportunities. It's look, the group just started, but I would love to see every single one of you guys in there and share your thoughts and inputs on how we can make money on the side. It could be anything. Again, it could be merch by Amazon, it could be KDP, it could be eBay, Etsy. Uh, uh, what are some of the others? Mercari. I know there's a bunch of other reselling platforms,
Mhm.
and again, if you guys have some unique strategies, let us know. And if there's secret strategies, you don't have to share. That's entirely up to you. But join the community anyway. Greg and I are in there. I'm gonna try and be a little bit more active. I'm not gonna lie, man. I've been super busy. Um, Hence one of the reasons why I haven't been putting out the episodes as much as I want. Um, Up until the shutdown, I've been, man, you talk about people were asking me, oh, so since you guys are preparing for the shutdown, you're probably not working that many hours. I was actually working 18, 20-hour days preparing for the shutdown.
Mhm.
Um, Greg, your business, am I allowed to say what it is?
Yeah, sure.
You manufacture, not manufacture, but you distribute scientific equipment, yes?
Yes.
I know exactly what you do because we talked about this, and my department at my day job, we actually have, we deal with minus 80s, which I'm sure
Mhm.
you know what they are.
Yep.
And so, in preparing for the shutdown, basically, in layman's term, is I work in a scientific department where a lot of people do research. A lot of these research go back, 20, 30, 40 years, and they store these research and just these bacterias and stuff and certain machines and in preparing for the shutdowns, I had to move all these machines in place and just get ready for the shutdown, and it was just, oh my gosh, I'm just glad that we're finally done with all that.
Mhm.
So so I apologize for my absence, but thank you, man, so much for being here.
No problem.
I never had the opportunity to meet any of your kids or your wife, but send them my best wishes. I hope everyone stays healthy. Um, Wash your hands, okay? If you use a bidet, wash your hands afterwards. If you
Yes, with
use a
soap and
bidet,
water, not a
soap
dry
and
paper
water.
towel.
Wash your damn hands, folks. Um, Thanks, guys, and hopefully I'll be back soon with another episode.
Cool. We hope so.